Hey guys, I am here with an update on Riley. As you can see, he is currently fast asleep in his sleeping bag. Even though it's boiling hot, he still likes to sleep in there sometimes. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I realize though that one of the things is if cats have anemia, they do feel cold sometimes, so it's probably why he likes to go in there sometimes still. Plus it's really snuggly. So, but he started to like sleep with his head out like that a lot of the times because I guess it's a little too warm, but he just looks so cute in it and so snuggly. So I'm here to give a little bit of an update. So if you didn't see my Twin Tuesday video last week with Yuki, I did talk about how we did go ahead continuing with the injections. I'm still a little nervous about it. I had considered getting a second opinion. Sorry guys, I just felt something on my forehead and thought there was a bug crawling on me, but it was just my hair, I think. I hope. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, so I had considered getting a second opinion. I had found a local vet that did house calls. However, because of COVID, he's not currently doing house calls, and we would have to go to make an appointment at his office, at his clinic, which is about a 15-minute drive, whereas Riley's current vet is about a 10-minute drive. We're still sort of keeping him in our back pocket, depending on how things go. But the day that, the day we were supposed to give his second injection, we were waiting for our vet to call us back so we could ask some questions, and she didn't call back until the day after. So we had held off on the needle on the day that we were supposed to, and so we talked to her on the phone. She called on the Saturday on her day off, which was really surprising that she would call on her day off. So she called, and I just discussed my concerns with her. I just said, his numbers had gone up by themselves. Like, it went from 21 to 26 by itself without the injections. So, I said my concern is, is it really needed? Like, are the injections really needed? Because, like, could it possibly put his levels too high where it becomes another problem? She felt no, and I'm still hesitant on it because the forum that I'm in, people keep saying that the fact that the numbers went up by themselves without the injections seems to suggest that he does not have non-regenerative anemia. Non-regenerative anemia would be where his red blood cells do not reproduce on their own. And that's where the injections come into play, because it helps stimulate the red blood cells to produce. But the levels, his levels going up without the injection kind of suggests maybe it's regenerative anemia, in which case usually we could probably just use the B12 and the B complex and maybe like an iron injection or something like that once a month to try and maintain it. She just said, like, we're monitoring his levels weekly, so she didn't see there being a problem in that. She thinks, like, it might just get him into that good zone quicker, and then we can sort of reevaluate. So we gave him the 2 shots, and then we also gave him We've now given him 2 rounds of the IV fluids at home now, and they've both gone well. Well, the first one went really well, like super well. We put it in, we gave him 75 milliliters, and there was no throwing up. I had given him his anti-nausea about an hour and a half prior, and he didn't throw up, and he just chilled on the couch. He just hung out on the couch. He's like, Mom, like you're bugging me. Like, I'm trying to sleep here and you're talking. He just hung out on the couch, and he didn't try to get away. He was cool about it, and it went really well. The second time we did it was on Sunday, this past Sunday, and it didn't go quite as well in that we got the needle in, no problem. I'm the one that gets the needle in. It went in. He didn't feel it. He was chilling on the couch. Then all of a sudden he kind of moved a certain way, and the needle popped out and sprayed fluids all over the place. So we had to quickly turn off the line. And then I was like, crap, like we didn't finish the dose. We only got about half the dose because we were going to try for 100 mil this time. So we're making sure that he gets his anti-nausea medication the day of his fluids so that he doesn't throw up, hopefully. So fluids went everywhere. And then I was like, okay, I don't want to have to poke him again, but I went to try, and I guess where I was about to poke, maybe, I don't know, I hit the wrong area, and he sort of jumped, and I was like, and then he tried to get away. So I was like, okay, forget it. Like, no. I'm like, either we'll wait a few hours and try to give him the rest of the dose, or we'll wait until tomorrow. So we waited a few hours, tried again, and managed to get the needle in, and he was cool about it, and just hung out on the couch for the rest of the fluids. So that was a little bit, it was my fault more than anything. I just, like, I guess I wasn't holding the needle in or whatever, and it just kept popping. It popped out. So hopefully the next time will go as smooth as the first time we did it. We only have to do it once a week. And he's, you know, he's still not eating that great. He kind of just licks the canned food. He seems more interested in the canned food than his dry food now, but a lot of the times he just licks the canned food. So I don't know, like I tried buying some Fancy Feast because my other cats used to love that. And he just kind of licks it. He seems to prefer the kidney diet food better. That he actually does eventually eat. The Fancy Feast has seemed to just sit there. So he hasn't ate that much the last couple of days. He's eating, but just not a lot. So anyways, going back to how things are going. So we went for our second vet visit last week on Tuesday. So that was after he got the first 3 injections of Eprex. And so we went in, and we went in with some other concerns to check out. Before we went for our vet appointment, after giving the 3 injections, we had a couple of other concerns that we wanted to bring up. So one thing that happened before our appointment is that, first I need to take you back to about 2 months ago. So about 2 months ago, one day Alex went to put his Crocs on to take the garbage out, and his shoe was wet, as well as the shoe tray that we put our shoes on. It was wet. There was like some liquid on there. It smelled kind of funky, but it didn't smell like cat pee, but it had a funky smell. And At first we thought maybe like our ceiling had a leak or something. We looked up, we didn't see any evidence of a leak. We didn't suspect cat pee because again, it didn't smell like cat pee. So we couldn't figure out what it was. We cleaned it up, washed it, and we had just basically thought, oh, maybe when he was taking a garbage bag outside, maybe something leaked out of the bag that he wasn't aware of, something. Fast forward a month later, the same thing happened. Alex went to put his Crocs on and they were wet. And this time it did have a slight hint of cat pee smell. And we figured out that it was in fact cat pee. Because again, like there was not there, it couldn't have been the same thing that happened twice. So we had figured out that, okay, I guess the first time it was also cat pee. This time it was cat pee. And we were like, what the heck? Like, why would Riley pee there? So that's when we decided to get night lights to put out at night, because our thought was that, oh, if his vision's going, maybe he, in the middle of the night when it's dark, he gets confused and pees there. So that's when we got the night lights. We put those out at night and never had any peeing again until the night before. Was it the night before? Yeah, the night before we took him to the vets. It happened again. Only this time it was on Alex's dress shoes that he peed. And it was basically Alex, I don't remember how or when he found it. Because we went to the vets on a Tuesday. We both worked on the Monday. I can't fully remember, but anyways, Alex basically had said that he found pee again on his shoe, and it was his dress shoe. And we were like, what the heck? What's going on? So that was in the evening. I think it was basically when Alex came home from work, he found it. That's what it was. And then I got home from work just shortly after, and he had told me about it. So then that night around 1:30, I was getting ready to go to bed, 1:30 a.m. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I saw Riley walk over to the shoe tray, and he was squatting over Alex's Crocs, looking like he was about to pee again. And so now this is like, okay, before it was like a month apart, and another month had gone by before he peed on Alex's dress shoes. Now this was like literally like hours apart, and he was about to do it again on the Crocs. I stopped him before he had a chance to pee on them. I took him to his litter box. He peed in the litter box. And I was like, what the heck? So then I removed the dress shoes as well as the Crocs from the shoe tray, because they were both in the general vicinity where he kept peeing. It was, and so I thought it was more the spot of the mat than the actual shoes itself. But I left Alex's canvas shoes because they were at the other end of the shoe tray. And I went to bed. Woke up in the morning, our Alex woke up before me in the morning. And when he came to wake me up as he was leaving for work, he then said that Riley had peed on his canvas shoes. And that was in like a completely different spot. So then I was like, what the heck? So basically, it was obviously that he was targeting the shoes, but it's weird because he never went near my shoes. It was only Alex's shoes. So of course I got on Google trying to see like what could be the cause, and there's so many different things that can cause cats to do that. Kidney disease can cause bladder control issues, but the way that I read it is that with kidney disease, bladder control issues is more of they don't make it to the litter box in time. But his litter box, like he never peed on the floor on the way to the litter box. Our shoe trays are in our front entrance, which is like at the complete opposite end of our apartment to where his litter box is. So he literally has to walk out of his way out of his way to go there. So I'm like, it can't be a bladder control thing because it's not like he's just having an accident. Like he is purposely going over there and peeing. The other thing that we read, it could be a bladder infection. So of course you want to rule all the medical stuff first. And then if you rule out the medical stuff, then it's behavioral. And from what I read, if it's behavioral, cats will do it if they don't feel well, or if they're stressed, or if they feel like their relationship is strained with the person whose items they're peeing on. And I was like, well, he only seems to be targeting Alex's shoes. And I mean, he sits on Alex's lap when Alex is at the computer. Alex pets him and stuff, but I do know that since all his medical stuff has started, I am doting over Riley all the time. I'm giving him all his medications. I'm feeding him the wet food. So I had wondered if maybe Riley was seeing me as being more involved and Alex not as involved. And so maybe, and it's not a revenge. Like cats don't do it as revenge. Like it's not like, oh, I'm mad at you, so I'm going to pee on your stuff. It's more of a, I want to be closer to you. So I am going to mark my territory on something that smells like you. So I thought that was interesting. So when we took him to the vet, we're like, we don't just want his anemia levels checked, like his red blood cell levels. We don't just want those checked. We also want you to check for a urinary infection. And we explained to her why and everything. And she thought it was odd about him peeing. And also I wanted his blood pressure checked because I read that a lot of cats with kidney disease can get hypertension, which can cause blindness. But if you catch it early enough, any blindness that may have already developed can be reversed with medication. So I wanted that to be checked as well. So she checked everything. We had to wait outside. We couldn't go in, which sucked. So he was in there for about an hour by himself, which I really felt bad about. But anyways, they were able to run the blood work for his red blood cell counts in-house, as well as do the urine test in-house. So they were able to do that, which was great, and they got the results back. So his blood cell levels have gone up again from 26 to 30. So that's a big jump again. And that was after the first 3 injections. And she says now that's great. It's gone up, but it is in the low end of normal because the normal range is like 30 to 50, I believe. So she would like to see it go up a little bit more, but she says we will reduce now. So do 2 more injections and then come back and we'll retest the levels and then take it from there. So that's what we're going to do. and see how it goes. So I'm still a little nervous about it rising so quickly, and I still am like kind of like, do we really need to be doing the injections, because they are expensive, and if we could be saving money, if we don't really need to be giving him another, you know, another needle, like if we just had to do the sub-Q fluids once a week, that's only one needle a week. And I don't know, like I just don't know if he really needs the injections, and I don't want his body, like I don't know if this can happen. I don't know if the body can become dependent. I don't know about that. I don't think I've read anything about that. I don't know if the body can become dependent on the injections to the point where, like, if you stop the injections, you'll have like a rebound effect. I just wonder, like, if his red blood cells have the ability to regenerate themselves without the injections, then I feel like we could just like do the B vitamins and keep him at a good level. But I don't know, like it's hard to know whether we should do a second opinion or not. But anyways, it's good. His levels went up, and there was no infection, no urinary tract infection. They checked his blood pressure, and he does have hypertension. But it's not, we caught it early. Because she says usually they'd like to see a cat's blood pressure be no higher than 165, I think is what she said, or 160. But his was toggling anywhere between 185 to 190, because they do multiple readings, and they always deduct 10 points, because they know that cats get stressed at the vets, which elevates their blood pressure. So I'm assuming the reading was actually higher than that, but once they knocked off the 10 points, it was toggling between 185 to 190. So it's high, but it's not like super, super high. It's sort of like we caught it early. She did notice his pupils were very dilated, and once she pointed it out to me, I'm like, yeah, his eyes are pretty much dilated all the time, which apparently some cats are just like that. I think he's always sort of been like that. He's always had very big, round pupils. But it used to be that if you shone a light in his eyes, or if he like went near the window where there was sun, his eyes would then go like to like a slit. They don't do that anymore. I tested it when I came home. If I shine a light in his eyes do not get, his pupils don't get smaller. They stay dilated, which can be from the hypertension, and that can be what causes the blindness, which makes sense, because when I go get my eyes checked and they dilate my pupils, things get blurry. So, hopefully we caught it early enough that if there was any blindness happening, then it might be reversed. She said she didn't see a ton of signs of, like, they tried to check for blindness, but it looked like he, you know, like he did have the reflex reactions if something was like coming at his face. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. Like sometimes I feel like he can't see well, other times it seems like he's okay. So I don't know. But she said basically we want to treat the high blood pressure because it is possible that the high blood pressure is not making him feel well either, and that could be why he's peeing on the shoes, is he's not feeling well and he's trying to tell us that. So in the meantime, I'm gonna show you guys. In the meantime, we have, even though he never touched my shoes, we've just removed all the shoes from the trays, and we now have them all stacked up on this shoe rack, which is kind of annoying because they're like all on top of each other and stuff. But we figured we need to do it for now because I don't want to have to keep cleaning up pee on her shoes and everything, or on Alex's shoes. So right now, nothing. And guys, we have seen him. He at least once a day will come to the trays, specifically this tray, which is where Alex's shoes always were. Mine were here, Alex's was here. And at the beginning, he was going on whatever shoes were in this corner. But then, like I said, when I removed the ones from here and there was only a pair at that end, he still peed on those shoes. So he will come here and he will stand on the tray and sort of look around, and then he will leave and go pee in his litter box. So it's clear that he is intentionally coming here, because from here he then has to walk all the way. Like, that's what I'm saying, is it can't be a bladder control issue, because our litter box is all the way around here, all the way here in the office. So he's literally walking. It's not like he's walking towards litter box and having an accident here or having an accident here because he can't make it. He's intentionally walking here before walking to the office and then basically wanting to pee on the shoes. But now that there's no shoes here, he isn't peeing here anymore. But he will come here to look for shoes first. He won't find the shoes, then he walks all the way down to the litter box. So it's a behavioral thing. It is a behavioral thing. And it could be just that he is telling us he's not feeling well from the blood pressure. So we're going to see how it goes. The blood pressure medication is thankfully not an oral thing, and it's not an injection either. It is a cream that we just rub it on his earlobe, or the little ear flap. And he's a cat that actually loves having his ears rubbed. He loves having his ears cleaned. He just purrs and gets all like relaxed. So he has no problem with me putting the cream on. He loves it. He just sits there and just purrs. So it's a very easy medication to apply. And so one day we put it on the right ear, and then the next day we have to clean that off and then put it on the left ear. So you have to alternate each day which ear you put it on. So that's where we are. And this video is probably long enough. I was going to show you what I've come up with as storage for all of his treatments and medications and stuff, but I don't want this video to be much longer, so I'll probably do that separately. But basically those are the updates, and so we will be going to the vet to, like, we gave him his second injection, because he was supposed to have 2 this week. So we gave one on Friday, and then we gave him his sub-Q fluids on Sunday, and then we gave him his second injection yesterday, and now we are going to the vets on Thursday, where it should be a quick in and out, and it's probably going to be our cheapest vet appointment yet, because we just have to check the blood, which will be I think it's like $40 to check the level, the PCV level. And then we'll have to see from there, like, what we're going to do injection wise. Now, the thing is, she gave us two syringefuls of the E-Prex when we were there the last time. And honestly, I was just going to ask for one, because we just needed one for now. but she gave us 2, which was really expensive because it's like $60 per syringe full. And I thought, like, if it ends up that he doesn't even need it after this, like if his level gets up high enough that it's good, then like if we have to stop them, like then we've bought these 2 syringes for nothing. So like, again, it's kind of where I'm like, does he really need them, or is it kind of like a money grab for our vet at this point? Because the vet I was considering doing a second opinion with, he actually had a full like informational library on his website, and he had a whole section about feline kidney disease, and he had a whole section talking about these injections. And even he said they generally don't jump on the injections at the first sign of anemia. They do like a series of PCV tests, and if the levels are consistently low over a certain amount of tests, that's when they will consider the injections. So, you know, the fact that our vet just jumped to this, I'm kind of like, I keep going back and forth on it, and keep thinking maybe he doesn't need them. Maybe we should go and see this other vet for a second opinion. I am seriously considering it. I'm just going to see what happens with his test results this week. And if they've gone up again, if our vet says that we should keep doing the injections, I'm going to like maybe do a second opinion, because I want to make sure that we're not doing anything that will cause more harm than good. And the main goal is to make him feel as comfortable and as healthy as possible while this, you know, disease runs its course, which eventually it is going to get bad to where it will kill him, or we will have to have him put down or whatever. But we just want him to feel as comfortable as possible for as long as possible. So we obviously don't want to do something that's going to make things worse. Yeah, and I mean, also you have to be careful with these injections if your cat has high blood pressure as well. So it's kind of one of those things that I'm like, maybe we should go get a second opinion. So I am seriously considering that, but that's sort of where we are right now. And this week is going to be kind of stressful for Riley, and I feel so bad because Thursday morning we see the vet, and then Thursday evening we are packing up with us and Riley, and we are going to Alex's grandma's to stay on. We're going to stay over at his grandma's for 2 nights, because his grandma's house has been empty for months now because she is out of Toronto staying with Alex's aunt during quarantine and stuff, because she had an injury and needs someone to look after her. So his grandma's been at his aunt's, and we are going to be finally having our tub refinished. We had rescheduled the last time, and anyways, it's getting done this week. And you know, I was nervous about not being here about it, but then we read that you shouldn't be here because of the fumes, so we decided to reschedule when we found out we could stay at Alex's grandma's house. So we will be gone for 2 nights, and Riley will be in a house, which is going to be interesting because it has stairs. And Riley has never dealt with stairs, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But I'm just nervous about it because it's like he's going to have to go in the carrier Thursday morning to the vet, and then we're going to have to put him in the carrier again in the evening to take him to his grandma's. Then he's going to be in a strange house for like a day and a half, and then we'll come home and have to put him in the carrier again. So I feel bad for him this week. It's going to be a little bit stressful. I just hope he doesn't pee on anything. at Alex's grandma's. I really hope not, because she would flip out. I mean, I don't even know if she knows we're bringing our cat with us. So, yeah. So anyways, guys, that's it for this video. I will do another video where I show you guys his treatments and stuff. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.